Bonjour everyone, welcome to another Diecast Showcase. So today we're going to be doing a little Free It Friday episode, sorry. Actually just going through my storage and decided to go ahead and go through some, try and find a theme basically of castings that either have, as usual, damaged cards slash bubbles or duplicate castings in different color waves that I have just to set some pieces free. So I thought it'd be cool to do a little, I guess, a brand comparo basically. We're going to compare today two brands that are, pretty popular, and they both have their roots in Europe. So we're going to be doing some Matchbox mainlines, and we're going to be doing some Majorette Premium cars. So we'll end the video by doing a quick comparison between the two brands, since there's going to be 5 of each respective brand that we're going to be cracking open today. So without further ado, let's get started on freeing some pieces, letting them breathe, and checking them out to see how much better they look out of the packaging versus in the package. So we are going to be starting off today with a Matchbox Mercedes-Benz, and it's a casting that I really like from Matchbox. There's tons of color waves available, and casting's been out for at least I'm gonna guess 2, 3, 4 years maybe. This specific color variation is a nice cream color from, or I don't know, maybe light pastel yellow, however you want to call it basically, but the Mercedes-Benz S123 station wagon. So kind of like the predecessor to the E-Class, especially very popular for taxi use in sedan form in many countries. And yeah, this one we're already starting to see that it's just begging to come out, right? So this is a 2020 release, as you can see, and we are going to be setting it free as of right now. So trying to do some clean cracks here. I don't think it gets much cleaner than that, right? And here it is. Be a great Wagon Wednesday feature. Probably going to happen on my Instagram. So this is a pretty good casting. The front tampos for the lights are done. And you've got a tiny little Mercedes logo as well on the front there. The turn signals are not done, although they would be very easy to add with some reference from the card, obviously. Obviously the front end, there's a lot of chrome on this, and a lot of black detailing, since we're talking about an impact bumper era car. But yeah, so front slide is done, side is not done. There's quite a few details to be added there, which I'll eventually end up doing, I'm pretty sure. And in the rear, pretty darn decent tampo work, although the exhaust is crying out for just a little touch of black, basically, just a touch of black. Oh, and that's cool, because the little badge on that rear hatch there does give indication to the trim level. So it's a 300 TD, so the top turbo diesel trim, as opposed to naturally aspirated diesels that were as prevalent for work duties, as they were excruciatingly slow. So the turbo diesel version ain't much faster. Obviously the nice chrome dish wheel, dog dish wheels, or steelies, or however you want to call them, with the beauty rings done in chrome, and a nice dark ox blood interior, as you can see. Sunroof is done as well, so just a nice starting point to just detail out and make just a classic ride. I'm kind of confused about that portion on the rear bumper, you know, but at the same time I kind of understand since it's part of the base, but it looks a little bit off, that portion in between the rear bumper and the wheel arch. But you know, that's the biggest flaw I could find to this casting, besides the lack of turn signals in the front, which is blatantly apparent. You know, they are missing also on the sides, but not as visible. Well, yeah, and number 3 is that huge post, but hey, what are you going to do, right? So that is the first Matchbox we're going to be cracking open right now. And we are going to go right ahead to the second one, which is actually in the same basic color, although it's a completely different car. So we're going to go from German kind of utility slash family car to a little British roadster action here with the big Haley. Austin Haley Roadster. That same cream color, same wheels as well, but without the chrome trim on the lip, which is great. I personally love this combo, and you know, I have also in a 5-pack a Jaguar XK120 that looks really good with these wheels. And we are going to go right ahead and crack this baby open as well. I always find Matchbox card make, I don't know why, they just come apart so much cleaner than Hot Wheels cards for whatever reason. But here's your big Haley right here. Maybe it's a 3000, I'm not exactly sure, but you know, all in all, again, details where they count. Great look from the front. Got kind of like the same color combo going on there with that red interior, although it's not the same same shade. The offset Austin Haley badging on the trunk lid, which is great, or the boot for you guys in the UK. Same base color as well, with that kind of like slightly pearlescent gray, which looks good in my opinion. Obviously a bunch of side details missing, but again, you know, it's a little challenge to add. It is left-hand drive, so either a non-UK market version, maybe North American, maybe German, French, Italian, who knows, right? But all in all, classic UK roadster. Definitely one of the lookers of the era, late 50s, early 60s, and it looked great with that Mercedes since it's got a matching paint color. So there you go. We got our 2 first vehicles cracked. Gonna continue in the classic cars, but we're gonna steer away from Europe, and we are going to open some classic American, early American muscle with this 62 Plymouth Savoy. Good old Mopar action going on in this really dark black, sinister kind of vibe going on. Same wheels as the Haley. And yeah, let's check it out in more detail. Alright. Well, like I said about the Matchbox cards being easier to crack, I guess been proved wrong on this one. Not a clean crack, but all good. What's important is what's inside the blister and not the blister itself. So, as Hot Wheels would do, you can see there's no details on the front, but it's all chrome, so that is all good. Obviously, to go with the chrome base. Side details are all done, which is great. Thank you, Chrome front end, for that. There we go, a little bit of focus there, and the rear end is very well done. So no complaints here. And sorry, I had to get a little bit closer to read that plate, but as you can see, it's been Savoy. So These are the basis for the infamous Max Wedge cars with the big Hemis stuffed under the hood, used for NASCAR. These cars always had, compared to their GM and Ford counterparts of the era, a little bit of a troubled styling, I guess. Not as aesthetically accepted, but I find it just adds character to the car, especially with all the side livery done in the rear and just that big hunk of chrome on the front. Probably going to add a couple touches of silver just to mat out a little bit the lights and make it that much more realistic. But besides that, this cast, in my humble opinion, needs absolutely nothing. Black on black, touches of chrome here and there. Again, steelies, got the dog dish caps, no beauty ring, so kind of like poverty spec / super stock spec. Great looking cast. I was very excited when this thing came out because I really find it's just one of those cars that, you know, brings you back to yesteryear. Yeah, last classic for the Matchbox that we're going to be checking out is one that has one of the... I wanted to keep it on card, but the blister decided otherwise. As you can see, whoop, there goes the Haley backing up on me here. But yeah, so just get the car into focus here, and yeah, pretty much all cracked up there. Probably the car knocked the bubble hard enough to crack it while being put in storage, who knows. But either way, Datsun 510 rally car, part of a rally set, basically an off-road rally set. Here's your lineup. Funnily enough, the three that I have are the two top ones. Obviously, the 510 that we're looking at right now. And I had picked up that STI. Still have it, but it's part of a for sale Matchbox mainline lot. So I'm not going to be holding on to that one, since I do have the Boulevard Hot Wheels in that yellow and blue World Rally blue color, so that's going to be taking precedent over this casting, which, as you may or may not see on the top, has like police strobes. It's just one of those cars that Matchbox had to convert to a police vehicle. Other examples of this is the Lamborghini Gallardo casting from Matchbox, and also example the Evo 10. I do also have the 911 Rally, the the first release on short cards, so that's one I do have. I'm not sure if actually this was the same color wave with which kind of mimicked the Rothman's classic livery there. The other three I do not have. I do have a version of this cast that I recently picked up from a thrift store haul that I'll be showcasing eventually, and I do have, I believe, two versions of the Baja Beetle, as well as actually I have the Baja Beetle and the F-150 Raptor both in Golf livery, which is kind of funny. So did not pick up those, but all in all, we'll be cracking open this piece as of right now. This was a Walmart exclusive set, I believe, and not super sought after on the secondhand market, but you know, it's a nice set all in all. I personally find. There we go. Just line these up all nice and even. There we go. And let's get this Datsun out. I know that this casting made an appearance last year, I believe, in a 5-pack with the Lamley logo on there. It's kind of like a thank you / tribute to his work for the diecast community. But yeah, I like the Tampa work on this. Nissan Motor Company Limited, you know, Datsun 510. So you've got both the North American as well as the Japanese pendant of this car, although this would be a blue Nissan Bluebird in Japan. Got the extra fog light on the bumper, bunch of fog lights, 5 fog lights to be exact on the top. We've got some not quite wing mirrors and not quite the placement that you'd see on passenger car. although maybe they are additional fog lights, which is definitely a possibility and would make sense. So slightly lifted, big mud flats in the back. As you can see, there's also an extra light on that rear bumper, and absolutely no front and rear tampos. And a major need for detailing on all those top accessories that you would typically see on a rally raid car. But all in all, great casting. I do want to find the original orange release of this, which does have front and rear tampos and like you're just orange paint, kind of like same hue as this tampo work here. Only bother with that one is that it comes with the infamous Matchbox 6 spokes, and I find that these wheels, reverse actually of what you'd see on the Savoy and the Haley. The dish part is black and the ring is chromed, which is kind of unique because you don't see that combination on these Matchbox wheels a whole lot. This again is a left-hand drive. All of these cars are left-hand drive so far, Japanese, British, or otherwise. So it's a nice little piece, and I do like that dark green. Last little Matchbox mainline will be cracking is one that I picked up off the pegs quite some time ago when it was just released in 2019, licensed 2020 on the shelves. This is actually pretty sought after mainline. Audi R8, seemingly based on the side slats. This would be a V8 model. It's got the twin 10 spoke wheels, chrome lip, black center, and it has great tampo work, although there is no tampo work on the side for the side slat, which is the only thing missing. Not a big deal because I have two other variations in two different 5-packs, and one of them does actually have that side slat. So let's get this bad boy open. Pondered on selling this one, but since I don't have one of these loose, I thought, hey, why the heck not? Had it long enough. Card is average at best, and since the card's not mint, not going to be worth a whole lot on secondary market over retail. Well, current retail at least. So yeah, well, you know what? Again, not about the packaging, and definitely is about the car. So there you go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful casting. Very, very well proportioned. This was made into a premium in the, what is it? Global series. Maybe not even a year after this came out, and kind of like a green with some white accents and some BBS looking wheels. I find this is really well done, honestly. It's a very nice cast. Nice dark gray color, lots of flake as you can see. Subdued black interior. You can't see much of, but that's fine. I mean, these cars, they're kind of like these subdued supercar, to say the least, compared to the Gallardo from which it is derived, or maybe the Gallardo is derived from this, at least power plant wise. Yeah, and it does definitely look like it has the 4.2 FSI engine in there as opposed to the V10, because normally these would be a little bit poking a little bit out the lower part that's right next to the door to allow more air in. That's the telltale, well, without looking at badging, that it's a V10 versus a V8. And this, since it's flush, we're going to assume it's a V8. But hey, available in 6-speed manual, and that V8 does sound great, as anybody that's ever heard one of these 4.2 liter V8s can attest to. So there's your lineup of Matchbox mainlines. Now we're going to jump right into the Majorette, since as you saw in a previous video, I did acquire a 5-pack of black edition Majorettes. I did decide to pull 2 of the castings that were included in there that I already had in alternate colors and crack those open. So let's go right ahead with this big boy here. Sorry about the movement there. There you go. Or how about we just push them back a little bit? We'll just make a line of Majorettes instead over there. There you go. And there you go. Perfect. All right. So, Majorette. This is Challenger SRT Demon, as you can clearly see. So these are premium cars, so we're going to have opening features, and we're going to check them out more in detail. Now these are very easy to crack open. Now, as opposed to the Siku cars, of which I've shown you a representative recently, these guys do not come with stats on the base of the car, but they do actually come with a little collector card. They're surprisingly difficult to remove, and your car specs are actually going to be right here on the back. So you can freeze frame that if you'd like, but yeah, keeping the card but not checking it out too much. So here's the main piece of interest here. So these look like rubber wheels, but they are actually plastic, although they are one of the best made mainline wheels I personally find, design wise as well as, you know, overall look wise. Chrome lip, twin 6-spoke, kind of like a very concave version of a RPF1 NK wheel. So you've got the Demon logo on the side, well done rears. These are painted lights, matte black trim, and lensed front lights, which is awesome. And you've got, of course, as you can see in the packaging, opening doors, got mirrors. Here's a look at the interior. Can't see much, but there's an interior. And as opposed to most die-cast main lines, well, I mean, this is not a main line, but yeah, you've got some air passing in between the spokes of that steering wheel, which is, I find, a nice touch. And these are really made pretty solid. These do not really have a whole lot of suspension, but they still do a little bit. And I mean, just a really badass Mopar. I really like it. So there you go. Got first, that goes to show these are plastic wheels, eh? It just rolls away. All right, next up, another car that we got inside that Black Edition pack. Godzilla Nismo GT3 R35 GTR. Very, very nice casting, and one I was very, very looking forward to crack open, which is now done. I'm going to check out a little cheat sheet card here. Of course, the car itself. Start with the card. You got your artwork. You got your specs. There you go. Freeze frame that if you'd like. And there's the car. Same wheels as the Hellcat. Or the Demon, should I say. I don't know. I'm not really a stickler on details for Mopar specifically. So the window trim is a little bit sloppy in its application, as you can see, but as for the rest, all the details are perfect. You've got a couple sponsors there, no fake sponsors, the vented hood, big GT3 wing. You know, there's as many tampo slides as you would need on these cars. They're not really counting, which is great, but at the same time, we're not talking about the same price point, right? Again, opening doors, mirrors, and in this case we are talking about almost a center drive car, which makes sense with these race cars. Oh my god, here we go. There we go. Maybe you can see a little bit better of that interior and the wheel placement. Got some crazy roll cage action going on in here. And again, painted rears, lensed fronts. So these are one rung below the deluxe cars, which normally have two moving parts, two opening features, however you want to call them. And but yeah, these are awesome. So now we're going to delve into another premium car, but this is out of the vintage line, And this is definitely a pickup. When I picked it up, I was very happy to go ahead and find the Celica GT Coupe. I'm not sure this RA22, TA22. I'm not exactly sure of the chassis code, but yeah, it's also one of the first cars that came out with these tri-spoke wheels from kind of like a throwback to the original Majorette wheels, in my opinion, at least. And yeah, I do have the black version of this with the same factory style stripes on the side, inside a vintage gift pack, a 5-car pack. So we can set this one free. Card on this one was actually mint, but you know what? I really want to get one of these in hand. Now, mind you, the scale on the Majorettes is definitely bigger than the Matchbox. We'll get that little cheat sheet out. Because, you know, everybody loves specs. So here's your artwork. And here are your specs if ever you want to peruse on those a little bit. Definitely not the same type of numbers we're seeing from the other two, eh? Here's the car. Look at that beauty. Wow. Much better than the Hot Wheels version, which I do have a couple of exemplars of. But at the same time, scale-wise, this is way bigger. This is definitely like in the 1/50th to 1/55th scale size. I mean, I'm eyeballing the scale, but that's what it looks like pretty much. Again, lens lights in the front. Badging is all done. Factory-specific stripes on the side with GT badging right there and right there. And the rears are also painted on this one with a little GT badge in the back. Great looking tri-spokes. Opening doors once more, and it is a left-hand drive. Yep, a pretty good job on the steering wheel. Would have been cool to have a little touch of, I don't know, brown on the rim there, just to make it look like a wood wheel. Maybe silver on the spokes. Just make it look like a Monolita or a old school Momo or Nardi wheel. I don't know. It'd be cool. But yeah, all in all, I mean, great car. Great suspension on this one too. Eh? Look at that. Like air out or something. I don't know. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'd see one of these slammed for sure. There you go. A little piece of GDM. Second to last car here is going to be definitely a very nice model, part of the Porsche edition line. It'll be the, there we go, 934, 911. So one rung below the 935. No wide body from the 934.5 on the back with the box fenders or the box fender flares. Really cool khaki color. And I mean, the details are all there. I mean, the wheels are the biggest letdown on this one, in my personal opinion. But let's check in more detail. Let's just see what we have here. Card. Let's see. This one, the card on this one is not as pertinent as the other ones. As has artwork on one side and picture of the model on the back. So, you know, yeah. And if you're curious to know what's in this wave of the Porsches, there you go. Cayenne Turbo S E-Hybrid. 911 GT3 RS, which I have a bunch of. The 718 Boxer, which comes with an opening top, which is awesome. I do have the pink pig on the lower left corner. Panamera Turbo Police Car, which I didn't pick up because I have the Hot Wheels version, and I mean, I don't see the point of having two in the same livery. plus our main suspect here, which is right here. So yeah, as you can see, the wheels are far from great, but besides that, the rest of the cast pretty on point. Lights are there. A little bit of detail missing for the little impact bumper details on the rear. A little bit of it is done on the front though. The venting for that 934 specific front bumper, which is very, very popular. Example, the Wangan Midnight 930 Turbo did have that bumper on it. Common upgrade. Opening doors, which is getting to be, kind of expected. And the infamous whale tail, which is very well detailed. Yeah, very, very nice car. Lensed fronts, painted rears. I really like this gloss color. Very period. There you go. Kind of looks great next to the Celica, right? Look at that. Good stuff. And last but not least, this one I wasn't thinking of cracking it, but going through storage, well, it's kind of already cracked, so decided, hey, you know what? Why the hell not? Been wanting to do a comparo anyways with the Matchbox version of this car. So I thought it was a great opportunity to do so since we're doing Matchbox and Majorette, the two of the big M letter diecast brands, I guess, with Maisto and Motormax. So Alpha Julia. We're back to the regular premium line, so you do have all the specs on here. So there's your specs. And it's kind of weird because this seemingly is a trim that we do not get in North America. There's two engines offered on the Julia in North America. You can see here there's this is 1,742 cubic centimeters, which would equate to 1.7 liters. So it's the 1750 engine, putting out the 235 horsepower. And that's actually it's actually the engine that would be, an example, the Giulietta Quadrifoglio. And I'm assuming this would be probably rear-wheel drive as opposed to the Q4 versions we get in Canada as standard, with the 2-liter turbo putting out 280 horsepower, give or take. And here's your car. Beautiful shade of red. And that's what drew me immediately to this car. I actually picked this up pretty much at the same time as I picked up the the Matchbox version, sorry. So this one has the older design twist wheels, opening doors. It's got a Quadrifoglio Verde looking front bumper, very dark front lights. Rear is very well done, and it does have the quad exhaust. Or does it? Yeah, it does have the quad exhaust, which is very reminiscent of the Quadrifoglio Verde. So it's kind of like a base model kitted out as a Quadrifoglio. It's just, like a TI Sport with a Quadrifoglio kit or whatnot. Same thing for the events here. Those are not present on the base versions. So it's kind of like a hodgepodge of different trim levels, I guess. Of course, mirrors, lens fronts, painted rears, and just to show you how bigger the scale is, this is the Matchbox version. So definitely overall shorter. Proportions are better on the Majorette though, because especially the rear end of the Matchbox version, you can see it's a little bit stubby. Like the overhang is definitely not long enough. Tampo work, well, and see the Matchbox version is the same thing. This is not badged as a Quadrifoglio. It does have the Quadrifoglio wing as well as the Quadrifoglio quad exhaust. So it's, again, two like kind of mix and match. Same thing here for the front end. They do have a very similar spec, honestly. Very, very similar spec. Obviously, the Matchbox version does not have the side details because it's a 2-tempo pass car. It does have the big 5 spokes that are, you know, pretty much classic at this point. And yeah, but overall, I mean, the scale is better on the Matchbox. Overall execution, definitely Majorette wins on this one. But I mean, the price point is not the same. I mean, I already showed you price of one of these on previous videos. These are about $8 to $10 each Canadian. So give or take maybe $6 to $8 Canadian. So, I mean, they're not cheap. Whereas this is still about $2 Canadian. 175 plus tax, give or take. So just not quite $2 each for a Matchbox. So it is about 4 to 5 times more expensive. Is it worth it? Well, I mean, I'll let you guys be the judge if it's worth it or not. But overall, I'm not complaining because that paint color alone does definitely look like that tri-coat Rosso Competizione color that does come optionally on pretty much all Alfa Romeos that you can get. So, and there goes the Porsche. We'll get her. We'll get her. Or maybe we could just flip these around. There you go. That works. We'll put this one here, and that's pretty much going to be the showcase, guys. A little bit of a longer video than I was initially expecting, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Nice variety of cars. Got a touch of JDM, bunch of Euro cars, and yeah, still a couple representative of muscle cars through old and new Mopars. So let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite out of this bunch? You guys prefer Matchbox or Majorette? You know, is a Majorette worth 4 to 5 times the price of a mainline Matchbox? Let me know in the comments. So until the next video, hopefully you guys have an excellent weekend. Stay safe out there. All the best of luck in hunting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for returning if it's a return visit. And of course, welcome if it's your first time on one of my videos. And yeah, till the next one, yeah, take care. Catch you on the next one. Bye.